Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to another edition of Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, it's a little chilly today, Justin. How was it go out your way? 17 degrees out in Jamestown. It was 19 on the hill in Ripley, and I guess it was 21 somewhere along the line in between here. Well, it is winter, and for the most part, have been pretty lucky as far as the weather goes and the amount of snow. That snow was heavy, though. I was shoveling it with the dog yesterday. He likes to assist me. And it was like pushing through white fudge. It was real thick and heavy. Well, anyways, I'm glad you could join us today. And so let's start with all our hellos. Good morning to all of you that are watching me live this morning throughout Chautauqua County area along the lakeshore. Good morning to all of you that are watching me through streaming. I think we're streaming. We're not quite sure. Our equipment here is, but we are, okay. It was giving us fits last week. At the moment, I keep getting these updates as we go along in my earpiece here. But that's such a cool thing because I get to say good afternoon to my friends over in the Ukraine. We hope you're doing well, and I know that things continue as they have been continuing, but we still have high hopes that things will get better and better and better for you all. So Natalia and all your friends over there at the YWCA in Kiev, good morning and good afternoon. All right, good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Thanks for listening in. I will give you a little sneak preview here. Today's show, I came up with two words on the way here. This show is about passion and compassion, okay? And it's going to be a combination of those. It's a heavy topic, but it's a good topic, and we're going to get into that. Alex Conti is in the studio waiting to come on. He was here earlier this season. It was last year, but not that long ago. And we're going to talk a lot about a program that he's been part of for a number of years now, and that I've welcomed him back because he was just here, did a vignette, a little shorty piece, and now we're going to get right down to some nuts and bolts and learn more and more about his program, but I won't tell you more about that yet. Okay. We're a live show, And especially today's show, you can call in if you have a question. And the number is 716-753-5225. Don't be shy. Don't have what would we call it? Phone caller or regret. I just made that one up. If you have a question, please don't be shy. If you don't want to talk live on the air, I get that part, but leave your question with Randy. He's on the other end of the phone line, and they get me the information, whether they'll pump it through my earpiece or write it down, because you may have a serious question, and the old thing, there's no such thing as a dumb question except the ones that aren't asked. So please don't hesitate to ask. Also, if you have an announcement, your club or organization, sometimes we get spaghetti dinners, chicken barbecues for your organizations. We will announce those free of charge. Happy to do that. Okay? I don't know what there is about it, but they seem to come in little bunches. But we lost two folks in the music world, Lisa Presley and then Jeff Beck, a great guitarist, and Lisa being an entertainer, singer. Of course, the daughter of Elvis Presley. Gee, wow. It really strikes chords in us as being musicians and just, enjoying music. And as we get older, they get older too. We forget about that. We always kind of, I don't know, I do anyways. I think of people at a certain time in their life and they're like frozen in time, and all of a sudden I realize, 40 years have gone by and now these guys are, they've aged. They're getting into their later years, upper 70s, early 80s and that. And but Lisa, really, I think she was 54. That was pretty young, and it's sad. And I don't know about you, but when I heard cardiac arrest, bam, all of a sudden now, I understand what that means from the Damar Hamlin situation. When he had cardiac arrest, your heart stops. And if you don't get to it right away, you're in trouble. And I guess she was in trouble, and they couldn't bring her back. So sad tidings from the Presley family there, and Jeff Beck and his family. We have some announcements we're going to share with you here in a second. So I guess we'll get right to it right now. So here we go. Mayville Chautauqua Chamber prepares for the 2023 Winter Festival. I have a little side note on this. Yesterday, I happened to run into some folks from the chamber in Mayville, and we were talking. They had lost track of the show, I guess, because they moved us around on Spectrum, different numbers, because we're on 1301 now rather than where we used to be on 5. So I just want to say good morning if those folks are watching, and I think they're following the show now. But it was kind of a nice chat, and we had a lot of people in common that we knew, and so let's see what they have to say. The Mayville Chautauqua Community Chamber of Commerce is hard at work planning for the 2023 Mayville Winter Festival. Years ago they used to call it the Ice Festival or the Ice Castle Festival, President's Weekend. Now I see it's just Winter Festival. Because you never know if there's going to be snow, you never know if there's going to be an ice castle, so you can't hang your hat on that, but it's just a fun time to get together. The popular event will be held President's Day weekend, so that's coming up February 17th through the 19th, just down the road here at Lakeside Park in Mayville. The event brings tens of thousands of patrons to the Mayville region annually, helping to increase traffic for local businesses. The committee is seeking volunteers, vendors, and sponsors for this tremendous event. If you would like to participate in some way for the Mayville Winter Festival, contact coordinator Shannon, Bykirk. I'm probably saying your name wrong, and I apologize, but Shannon. And you can go to the chautauquachamber.org and look them up for the Mayville Chamber of Commerce, and you'll get through to them. Okay, here's a little funny story. Years ago, my Rotary Club used to do the parking for this event, and some years it was a lot of fun, and other years it was cold. We'd be out there like with 10 layers of jackets and scarves and that in blowing snow, but everybody had a good time, and we all get to be couch potatoes at this time of year because we don't want to go outside or it's just too cold or whatever, but bundle up, get outside and get something hot to drink and see the snow sculptures and things like that they have. And I don't even have the list yet, so I'm sure in another week or two I'll be able to tell you more about the Winter Festival on President's Day weekend here in Mayville. All right, if you like to do something indoors, Movies at the Ridge. Okay, Jeff, here we go. The Empire of Light and spoiler alert to show at the Reg Linné Center for the Arts. Set in English seaside town in the early 1980s, Empire of Light will be shown on Wednesday, January 18th, that's this week coming up, at 7 p.m. Is a powerful and poignant story about human connection and the magic of cinema. From Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, Empire of Light is rated R. It's 113 minutes long. Then, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Why I say boy, oh boy, because there's all these names that sometimes I don't do a good job on. Based on Michael Azzilio's best-selling memoir, spoiler alert, it'll be shown on January 21 at 8 p.m. It's a heartwarming, funny, and life-affirming story of how Michael and Kit's relationship is transformed and deepened when one of them falls ill. Spoiler alert is rated PG-13. It's 112 minutes long. Upcoming movies at the Reg include a special engagement of the documentary Who We Are, a chronicle of racism in America. That'll be shown on Monday, January 16th at 7. And this one's real popular, the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That'll be on January 28th at 4 p.m. Tickets are usually $7, $6 for family movies, and then they add $1 for theater restoration. Okay, got to keep the place looking good. You can go to the post office. You can go to the box office from 12 to 5 on Mondays and Fridays, 12 to 8 on Wednesdays, or give them a call at 484-7070, 484-7070. Okay, now a couple of things to announce here from the Chamber of Commerce, also of Chautauqua County. The Chamber of Commerce is working with owner Nick Keefe in the city of Dunkirk to facilitate a grand opening ribbon cutting at The Point. All right, it's over at 296 Lakeshore Drive West in Dunkirk. It's going to be held on Monday, 23rd. The Point is a new concept built at the area's first virtual food court featuring menus from Rustico, Taco, and the Big Cheeseburger. Okay, so that's coming there over in Lakeshore Drive, and they're going to have a nice ribbon cutting. And I know we cut it, but I just remember because my wife and my brother-in-law would be very happy, and my daughter too, would be very happy to know that there's yet another Tim Hortons in Chautauqua County down on Washington Street in Jamestown. And I see that they just had a ribbon cutting the other day. So I think there's now 8 places you can go for Tim Horton coffee. Sadly enough, I'm not a coffee drinker, so okay, there you have it. All right, now an event that's going to come up on January 28th. Okay, this we talked about last week. We'll talk about probably another week or two. Doors Open. Very, very cool event. Now have a listen. Okay, this is a myriad of attractions in the Jamestown region are once again pleased to host Doors Open Jamestown on January 28th, Saturday. The event provides a free day at local museums and attractions. Launched many years ago as a way to encourage local people to visit the numerous museums and attractions available in the community in a time that is normally a slow tourism season. Doors Open Jamestown has become a highly anticipated day for the participating organizations, excuse me, as well for their guests. Our region is fortunate to be the home of so many extraordinary attractions, and many of them are in the immediate Jamestown area. 17 attractions are participating this year. 17. That will keep you busy that day, featuring something for everyone, including art, nature, sports, theater, history, and a whole lot more. These amazing facilities look forward to this incredible open house day as they welcome area residents to see what they have to offer. We always poo-poo where we live, don't we? But we really have some phenomenal facilities, and unfortunately, we don't always appreciate what we have locally. We always go out of town to go wherever, but listen, here's the list. If you haven't been to any of these places, this is your chance for free. Audubon Community Nature Center over on Riverside Road. Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, Randy Anderson and company. They're going to be here in a couple weeks. The Dar House over on Prospect Street. That's the Daughter of the American Revolution. Doubletree Jamestown, the hotel. Have you ever walked in there? Have you checked it out? You might want to. Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center over on 301 East 2nd Street. Some of my best friends are there. Jamestown Prendergast Library. Have you been in a library lately? Libraries are very different than they were when we were kids. All right, here's one. Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz Museum over on 2nd West 3rd Street. Okay, it says here you got to register ahead of time, so contact them so you can get in. It's just not walk-in. You got to let them know you're coming. The Lucille M. Wright Air Museum, 110 West 3rd Street. Okay, the Lucille Ball Little Theater of Jamestown over 18 East 2nd Street. The Martz Cole Observatory over in Furrsburg at 176 Robin Hill Road. I got to get there yet. That's one of my bucket list things. The Marvin Community House. The Marvin Community House has some connections to my hometown of Ripley. The Marvin, the gentleman I think that started that or built that place, his daughter was married to B.F. Goodrich from Ripley. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, let's see, where am I going? National Comedy Center, of course, 203 West 2nd Street. Pre-registration again required if you want to go there. Let them know ahead of time. The Northwest Arena, 319 West 3rd Street. Free public skating, noon to 2 p.m. How cool is that? Pearl City Clay House over 220 East 2nd Street. They're going to be on the show here pretty soon. The Reginald A. Center for the Arts, 116 East 3rd Street. Check it out. They probably have some specials going on. Robert H. Jackson Center, absolutely a gorgeous facility. 305 East 4th Street. And, of course, the Roger Torrey Peterson Institute, 311 Curtis Street. Just played there this summer. Gorgeous. Okay. Jamestown Community Chamber Coordinator Carrie Swanson noted, as we did last year, the Chamber of Commerce is running Doors Open Jamestown text contest at all participating attractions and in a number of local businesses that have chosen to participate. Look for the text contest instructions at each venue and find more information online. Okay? And I guess everybody that's around, that's included, those, 17 attractions, all have donated little prizes. Let's see. Chautauqua Chamber President, CEO Daniel Heizenrader adds, Doors Open Jamestown is much more than a chamber event. Our Jamestown Community Chamber coordinates it, but once the day arrives, this event belongs to the numerous attractions that open their doors for free to welcome visitors on this special day. I thank all of them and the many additional community partners and businesses who work with us to help make this event possible and successful. Okay, and I think that's it for that. And then we move on to slide 17. Okay, I'm just going to kind of give you some information from this. This is attention parents of children 0 to 12 years old. Oh, I'm glad I'm past those years. Triple P, Positive Parenting Program. Say it 10 times fast, Justin.
No.
Come, oh, you're no fun. Positive Parenting Program, Positive Parenting Program. Free discussion group series, Mondays at the Resource Center at 186 Lake Shore in West Dunkirk, New York. All right, January 23rd from 10 a.m. to, what does that say? Hang on a minute. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Dealing with Disobedience. January 30th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Developing Good Bedtime Routines. You forget, I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up. I want to drink water. I'm hungry. Stay in your bed. Don't come out. I want to sleep with you. No. February 6th, 10 a.m. to 12, Hassle-Free Shopping. I don't even talk about that. You know, what do you do with the kid throws himself on the floor and screams, I want that toy and I'm not moving until you get it for me. February 13th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Fighting and Aggression. Oh, you guys ever fight when you were little, Justin? Still are, I know. Okay, attend One or For All. This is through our friends at Prevention Works. To register, just give them a call. Ready? Here's the number. Give Lucy a call at 679-8946. All right, 679-8946. And it's over at Prevention Works. They're doing some great work with families to have happy, healthy families. And sometimes we hit bumps in the road and we need a little bit of help. Check it out. And finally, this isn't on the list here, Jeff, but I said I would announce this since I'm doing this because I don't want Rick Mascaro busting in here again. We got a show coming up at Lakeshore Center for the Arts. And I am totally humbled that I will be one of two actors. It's called Love Letters. It's starring Joan Caruso and myself. It's going to be held on February 10, 11, 12, and 14 for Valentine's Day. It's the 10th and 14th are at 7 p.m., and the 11th and 12th are matinees at 2 p.m. Tickets are $20, and you can go lakeshorecenterforthearts.com for tickets. If you haven't been there before, great venue. It's small. It holds maybe about 40 people. It's very intimate. I have now read through my script twice, and I can tell you this much. What it is, it's two people sitting, and they're reading letters to each other that they wrote to each other for over 50 years. Okay? So imagine starting out when you're quite young, right into your later years. And it's a fascinating play, and I went back and researched it, and anybody that's big in Hollywood has done this play because it doesn't take a lot of production, and it's fabulous. And the last two I saw, Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal, remember from Love Story? They did this play for a number of weeks, and so I'm very honored to be playing opposite Joan, who is just a phenomenal actress, and I'm looking forward, and we're having rehearsal Monday night, so I can't wait to get started. All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is for you.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Yeah. United States, especially, diabetes is an epidemic. It's nothing to be messed with. There are situations where, and I'm no specialist in diabetes, obviously, but I have had enough family members to know this much. Sometimes it's genetic, and you're going to have diabetes whether you want it or not. The key here is to get ahead of it, work with your doctors, and get the medications, whatever you need, diet, exercise, and just manage it, and you'll have a long, healthy life. You don't, you're going to have lots of problems. And the subject, just like he said, yeah, you're still pre-diabetic. So when the doctor says you're pre-diabetic, that's an alarm, and you should be thinking about what you should be doing down the road. Okay? So, word to wise, and I'll be quiet. Passion and compassion I used for the two words for my guest in the program he's with. We first met a while back. I don't even remember when it was. And I just kind of was like in awe of what they do. So I want to welcome back to the show, and to a full show now. We're going to be discussing the Sonshine Charitable Fund. Alex Conti, president. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You made it.
I did. Right up over the hill.
Right over the hill. And we kind of weren't quite sure if we were going to get you here today because of your schedule and things like that, but we worked it out, so I'm glad you're here.
Really, really appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely. You know, I was mentioning earlier, I did a presentation for my Rotary Club, and I said the mission of this show is to talk about all the good things and the heavier things that we have to deal with here in Chautauqua County. And you represent both. You represent things that are very serious and troubling, and yet a ray of sunshine and some hope and support on the other end of things. Would you agree with what I just said?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, we're very proud of what's going on with our charity, and you know, our county. This is a great county.
Yeah.
It's got so much to do. You're right, and there's so many absolutely phenomenal people in this county.
Yeah.
And Western New York, the whole area. I mean, I think we see that on a national stage as well.
You know, we see this from time to time here, and I'm not the only one that says this, but you know, you watch the news and you read the paper, and you get so jaded, I think, where we think that, you know, everybody's nasty, everybody's out to get you, and that's just not the case. It's a very small percentage of people that are doing that sort of thing. You ask for help, people are there for you. You ask for, you know, some support, people are there, especially here in Chautauqua County. You know, this is show 442 today, and we've had so many different agencies and programs, and they all say the same thing. It's a great place to live, and it's a great place if you're down on luck or you're in a serious trouble. People are there for you, and we got a lot of supports. But before we get to your project, your program, the Sonshine Fund, tell us a little bit about yourself. We didn't get a chance to. I mean, you and I have talked before the show, but I don't think we talked about. I mean, you got a kind of interesting background, which I'm pretty intrigued by.
Yeah. About me.
Yeah, about you.
Born and raised right in Leona.
Okay. Right down from the Bosey Center I used to run.
Yeah. And grew up on a dairy and grape farm, right there on Route 83. Born and raised, like I said, went to Fredonia High School. Graduated a long time ago.
And you said that Joan Crusoe was your teacher.
Mrs. Crusoe was one
now,
of my
was
English
she
teachers.
an English teacher?
Yep, and then I got to work with her too when I came back.
Oh, in what way?
Because I teach at Fredonia High School.
What do you teach?
I teach high school phys ed.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been there now. This is year 28. I know, right?
Goes by quick, doesn't it?
28. And I was 9 years teaching in California before that.
Wow.
So,
okay.
but yeah,
So you're a phys ed teacher.
I am.
So in California, where did you teach?
The high desert. So 29 Palms. People know 29 Palms because it's the largest marine base in the world. It's where they do all their desert training.
Okay.
So I started in 29 Palms. The whole district is a rather large district, and then I moved to the middle school. So I started as a 5th grade teacher, moved to the middle school as a phys ed teacher, and then moved on to the high school. So we were there, my wife and I, for 9 years, and then we moved back home because of Chautauqua County and the farm.
Yeah.
Our kids were old enough to go to school, and so we moved them back here, and been here ever since.
Now you neglected to mention the one little thing that I think is kind of cool. You said you had some minor roles. Is that the right word? Minor roles as an actor, right, in TV.
I did. I did quite a bit of.
So where
acting.
would we find you?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reruns. No,
There's a lot of stage stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. The McCallum Theater had just been built down in Palm Desert, and so I got to be part of the very first show.
What was that?
At the McCallum Theater, From the Heart. And then there, I got to do quite a few fun things. I mean, sang with Andy Williams 3 times.
You sing?
Well, yeah.
Well, you didn't tell me that side of you. That's cool.
In the chorus, you know how they bring on a local chorus?
That's
behind?
okay.
And yeah, and then my best role was probably the baker in Into the Woods at that theater. It was a pretty amazing venue.
Now, Into the Woods, they just did in the last year, I believe, in Fredonia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Some of the other actors I know that I was in another production with were part of that.
Yeah, it was a terrific.
Now, were you on film at all?
Yeah, I was.
All right, let's hear about that. Come on.
No, I mean, so I did a lot of extra work and then featured extra work, and I've determined that extra work is just, they have a camera off the set that no one knows about, and they see what they can put you through for minimum wage, okay? And they just torture you. Like we were in Bugsy. Okay. Bugsy, Ruby, Mulholland Falls. There's a couple others, but I mean, P.S. I Love You with Connie Selleck and Greg Evigan. I got some featured extra stuff in that.
So did you have a role, or you were an extra?
Just extra, all extra work.
So you just walked through the scene, or?
Yeah, in Mulholland Falls, you can see me when the film. I make jokes all the time with my wife. You'll see like all the stormtroopers, right? Well, they all look the same, right?
Yeah.
And I go, oh, there I am. So that's a running joke. There, look, quick. But there is in Mulholland Falls. If you've ever seen the movie, there's a scene where the film gets stuck. Right, and then it melts.
Ooh.
Well, that's me and my buddy Paul and some girl that we didn't know. The three of us. It was a pool scene, and so we melt on that was the film.
Wow.
That was our cut. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's when we did Bugsy, we rebuilt an entire Flamingo Hotel down in the Salton Sea, just south of Palm Springs, and we built this. And so they had to do scenes with, so if you ever watch Bugsy, the opening scene when they're building the Flamingo, well, we're in a windstorm. What they're doing is they have these huge, just monstrous fans. And they literally were taking buckets of the dirt and throwing it in the fans.
Oh, nice.
And they were just pelting us with stones. That's when I came up with, yeah, there's another camera. They're just showing, because you're getting paid, what, $7 an hour maybe.
Great way to make a living.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. We never made money, but we made memories, that's for sure.
Well, good for you. That's always fun to have that in the background. Hey, if you're interested in acting, you should get part of this Lakeshore Center for the Arts. You know Steve Wendell?
Sure.
Steve and I were in a production just recently of Becky's new car.
Yeah, Steve was just 2 years ahead of me in school.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I had his son Ben, who runs the Fredonia at Fredonia High School. He does a fantastic job. And Steve helps his son with the productions there.
Well, Steve and I, like I said, we played opposite each other.
Yeah.
In this last play I was in. So, anyways,
that's great.
Well, anyways, you should join us. All right, but we digress now.
Yeah.
All right. So last time you were on, we were talking about a fundraiser for something called the Sonshine Fund. I had never heard of it, but when I was told about it, I just sort of sat for a while and just thought about it, and I thought, wow, I never realized that there was such a support system. So tell us the beginnings of this, the origins. Where did this all come from?
So when we were growing up, I said that we grew up on a dairy farm, and when my little brother was, so I had a little brother that we lost when he was 18, Christopher, and he was born with a heart defect. And so he had open heart surgery as a 6-month-old, and then as an 18-month-old, he had another open heart surgery. And then they always knew they'd have to do another one. That came at age 18, and so he unexpectedly passed away during surgery. And so you're dairy farmers. It's not something that you're prepared for.
Yeah.
And at that time, so it was Mr. Timko, Carl Timko. Carl and Trish Timko owned Larson Timko Funeral Home. And our pharmacist was Mr. Albano, Dick Albano, right there in Fredonia. And I mean, they were extremely gracious and patient, and that's when I thought that, something should be done. There should be support for people who lose those children. And so we had the idea way back then. My wife and I had talked about it for years and years, and then our children are both grown now. Both have great jobs. We're hitting the retirement age, and so we decided, it's time. So we started the Sonshine Charitable Fund. The Sonshine, Sonshine. My brother Christopher, that's actually what my parents put on his headstone. And so,
Sonshine?
Yeah.
Nice. So when you said you had this idea back then, what was the idea?
To have a support system, a charity that would help defray the cost of funeral expenses for people who lose a child. And as we did research, our age group is ages 1 to 19. That kept in the on our webpage, sonshinefund.com. We have an additional resource page We deal 1 to 19 because if there's 10 children that we lose 1 to 19, there's 50 that we lose 0 to 1.
Wait a minute, say that again?
So if there's 10 children that pass away, ages 1 to 19, in that same time period, there's 50 children 0 to 1. So financially, we really couldn't support 0 to 19. We go 1 to 19. But on our additional resource page, there's got to be probably 17, 18 additional resources, and almost all of them deal with 0 to 1. So people, we didn't want to ignore that issue because there's so many that touches.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So we would call it infant mortality.
Right, right.
There's, wow.
Yeah, there's
Five times.
5 times. You know. And
So are there local agencies that help here in Chautauqua County for that group?
for 0 to 1, there's all kinds of, like I said on that resource page. If you read the first lines, it gives credit to the people that came up with that resource page. They're out of Cleveland, and there's a number of them. There's emotional support, there's financial support, there's free caskets for infants. There's all types of support for the 0 to 1. I've only found a couple of areas that have support for the 1 to 19. There's one in Philadelphia. There's one in Washington. There's one in Georgia. As we, and ours, as it stands right now, we deal with Orleans, Niagara, Erie County, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, Warren, McKean, and Potter counties. And then the townships just to the west of us, the townships that border our Ripley. Our next move is to move closer into Erie, PA, and then Wyoming and it's not Warsaw County. Genesee, Wyoming and Genesee. Those will be our next counties that we add.
Alex, this is a huge geographical area.
Wow.
Wow.
There's you know, and that's why we did, you know, I mean, we're a 100% volunteer organization, and we are a 501c3, and so I mean, we just respond when we were talking about generosity. There's a tremendous amount of generous people in our little area. But we're trying to spread the news. People don't know about us. I mean, we find the families because my wife goes through the obituaries, and then we hand deliver the check right to the funeral home. What we found too is that, especially in our little area, the funeral homes are extremely generous, but they can't take care of everything. There's
Right.
fees that they can't.
Right. There's government and state
There's
filings,
you know, the coroner's report,
Right.
the death certificate, the this and that, and so what we're able to give, the local funeral homes have told us that it really bridges the gap, and so that's.
So how long have you folks been in business here as far as helping folks?
Well, we were scheduled to have a grand opening of an event in Casadega, and that was going to be August 1st, which happened to be the Saturday, which happened to be the day that my little brother passed away. But that was COVID year. That was actually, it was January 7th, I believe, that Luca Kalani passed away. And so we knew that we needed to start then that day.
So 2020?
Yeah.
You've only been around about 2 years.
Yeah, so.
You have accomplished a lot. Wow.
we've been very fortunate in the support that we've received, and it doesn't get easy. That's
no,
for sure.
No. Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking of that age group,
Right.
1 to 19. Most families don't have life insurance on their kids. Most families don't have, at that age group, they're young parents still.
Right.
So to have something like this they have to face would be pretty monumental, I would think. What kind of costs are we looking at here?
Well, like I said, these funeral homes, they're very generous, and for the most part, I mean, the ones that I've dealt with, they've been tremendous, especially in our county.
Good.
So, an average funeral is, 7 to 10, children probably more like 5, and then, but what they can offer them, sometimes much less, and sometimes, it depends on what
they
you
can.
want, right?
Yeah.
But we, at this point, we are able to walk $1,000 check to the funeral home, and that helps defray the costs that they
That's tremendous.
incur. And to date, we've been able to help 48 families.
That's $48,000 or thereabouts.
It's a little less because we started at 500. There were 16 at 500, and the last 20, what is it? 28, no, 16, 22, 32, 42, 48. The last 32 have been at 1,000 each.
Thousands and thousands of dollars. Wow, that's unbelievable. Do you ever get someone says, no, we're good?
Yeah, I don't normally talk to the parents. We write a very unevasive note, just letting them know that there's people out there that they've never crossed paths with that care. And so we don't really, we sometimes hand it right to the family. We make the check out to the funeral home, but I mean, we're not looking for a thank you. We're not looking. I mean, that's
Yeah.
We're just trying to help.
Right. Well, what I'm getting at is the need, I guess, is that sometimes there's a need and sometimes there isn't any. So if I hear you right, is you basically kind of come in anonymously and support a family, and they may not even know prior to that you're on the way.
Right, and none of them know we're on the way.
But they know after the fact.
Like I said, we don't know if the letter even gets to them. We're hoping the letter gets to them, but and that's something in the people that donate to us. We've been very fortunate. I'd like to say some of their names.
Absolutely.
The family of Carson Rockwell did a Cans for Carson, and they donated all the money they made in that year, and they gave it to the Sonshine Charitable Fund.
Wow.
Danny Morales, they lost their son in 2000.
So in his honor, obviously.
Yeah, so they gave a sizable donation, and these are the kind of things that help us keep going.
I'm going to get a little bit basic here for a moment, if I may.
I appreciate that.
I need to right now. A lot of people have watched these GoFundMe funds and they're scams and things like that. A 501c3 is a bona fide, federally approved charitable organization, because I've written a couple of these. So when they make a donation to you, number one, it's tax deductible, yeah,
Right.
and that people should feel comfortable knowing that if they do donate, that it's in good hands, because you would be subject to review by the government.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, like I said earlier, we're 100% volunteer, my board is, and for straight donations, 100% of your donation, be it $10, be it $1,000, if you donate to the charity, that's going to a family.
Mm-hmm.
Anything administrative, if we sell, thank you, if we sell raffle tickets, or we have a fun day where you're, pulling duckies out for a bottle of wine, those kind of things.
Been there, yeah.
We will use that for administration fees, but if it's a donation, 100% goes to a family that has
Okay.
lost a child.
Well, going back and forth in our discussion today about Chautauqua County, I've talked to veterans groups, I've talked to school districts, I've talked to foundations, and every one of them says they're greatly supported by the community members, and they're often surprised that they're supported by people that don't really have a lot of means, if that makes sense, and that it's the everyday people that are working out there, getting by, that have the biggest hearts sometimes.
I have a family in California.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we deal with Western New York.
Yeah.
A family in California, I coach their children. They are beyond a shadow, and they're brown collar workers.
Goobers.
Their donations, their monthly donation
Monthly.
is unbelievable, and but we have people right here that simply donate on a monthly basis, and it keeps us able to help others. I mean, it really is in the Elio DiPaolo Scholarship Committee that annually.
I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Annually, Dennis and Bud Carpenter. Bud, who was from Fredonia, is a Fredonia State, was a trainer, and the Bills stole them from when they were at camp here. So Bud and Dennis DiPaolo, they started that charity, and they give every year. Give Big CHQ is a great event for us.
Yeah, that's come up.
Yeah. Leslie and spaced the other names, the other people, Leslie Willie and
Diane Hannum and that.
Diane
I'm on that foundation board.
okay, yeah. I mean, they're terrific. It's a great event.
Is your fund housed with the North Chautauqua Foundation, or are you standalone?
No, we're standalone.
Okay.
We're standalone.
Okay.
We're over there with Dan Reniga at Lakeshore.
Okay.
I went to school with Dan and his brothers. Yeah.
So the everyday people working together.
Everyday people, Mr. Mrs. Kaiser and Mr. and Mrs. Best were friends of my mom's. Our families were friends. One of my brother's best friends, Scotty Kaiser. You mentioned Tim Hortons. He had like 5 of them, I think. But he's right here in Westfield. Very generous. When Mr. Best and when Mr. Kaiser both passed away, just in a year or so, both made donations to the Sonshine Charitable Fund. I mean, they all knew Christopher, my brother, not my son. But yeah, these are the people that make it. And the wrestling community has been fantastic too.
Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, they really have the Ripley Wrestling, Westfield / Ripley / Chautauqua.
I'm familiar with all those guys. I used to flip burgers for their annual. What they have, like a championship. What do they call those things where you get together all the schools for like a
Tournament.
Tournament. There you go. I couldn't think of the word.
We just had it. We just
I
had
saw that one day. I said, somebody said, "Oh, look at the cars at Ripley," and I go, "That's a wrestling tournament."
Yeah, right.
But years ago, Bentley and the Rose, they all got
Yeah.
me flipping burgers. I used to show up with goggles and everything.
Well,
you probably were there for all I know.
They could have been. You know, they've been fantastic. They run 50/50s and donate to the Sonshine Charitable Fund. Niagara County Community College did the same. Just December 16th, they had their tournament, 16-17, and they did the same thing. They ran a 50/50, and they gave the proceeds to the Sonshine Charitable Fund.
Sweet.
Every little bit helps. We've now, sad, but we've had 14 children in our county, 18 in Erie County.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We keep talking about Sonshine. I'm assuming this is for both boys and girls?
Anybody,
Any child.
whether they're rich or poor,
Boys or
people
girls.
should not have to
Right.
pay to bury their child.
Yeah. So you mentioned, holy cow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 10 counties that you're going to be or will be involved with. That's a huge geographical area. So how can I help you right now get the word out?
Well, you know, this is fantastic. It's a great platform. I really, really appreciate it, and you know, you allowing us to do this. I mean, so people need to know that. I mean, we are simply a phone call away.
All right. So we have a slide for that. See how I worked that in there?
Boom!
Boom! There it is.
Wow!
All right. So
you guys, this isn't your first time,
no,
is
it's
it?
not my first rodeo. All right, guys, folks, we're watching right now, listening. I'm going to have Alex go through the phone number and how you can get a hold of them. And because we're going to share this on YouTube, this can go anywhere in the world and throughout the counties that you listed. But and maybe there'll be other sister and brother organizations that may spring up that maybe want to model themselves after you. So let's start with the phone number to get a hold of you, and then a website and so forth. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can call me 716-640-7896. Our website is SONSHINE Fund.
So it's all one word, Sonshine
all
Fund.
one word.com. You can go to that. There's contact information right there. So, and every dollar counts. That's why it was so important to give Big CHQ. It was just tremendous for us, you know. So please spread the word. My wife, she finds the names in the obituaries. It's not how we had hoped this would go. We asked the funeral homes to contact us. We really haven't got that. You know, so I mean, people don't know about us. If they know about us and they contact us, we try to get it there before the fact, you know. So if you hear of someone 1 to 19 in any of our Western New York, pretty much all 716 area, and then the 3 counties below us, please just give me a call and I will take care of the rest.
Those that are listening to us right now on WRFA on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, let me say that number one more time. 716-640-7896. And they're going to call you directly, or is that your cell phone?
That's my cell phone.
That's your flip phone.
That's my flip.
So, and I'm assuming if you're in the middle of the day and you're working, you just leave a message, perhaps?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
Especially because
on a flip phone, you have a message system? I didn't think they had those on those phones.
And you know, if I don't know the number, if it doesn't come up, I'm thinking that you're trying to sell me car insurance. You know, my warranty,
Your
my
warranty's
car
up.
warranty's up. Okay, so I might not answer you. Just leave me a message.
Okay, and a phone number, obviously. Yeah.
And a phone number.
All right, so we want to get the word out. And you and I talked before the show. Parts of this show probably will be on your Facebook page, hopefully. Yeah, right. So Facebook page, you could just do Sonshine Fund. I've done it, so I know it's easy to get to if anybody wants that. And on your web page, you said you have resources, and I think you have pictures of your board of directors, I think I saw, and things like that. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a donation button on there?
We do.
Okay.
On every page. on every page. Yeah. There's a. Oh, you can PayPal, you can Venmo, you can. These are all words that I'm really not familiar with, but yeah, you can write a check, you can send a check. All the information is right on there.
This is a tough question, and if you don't particularly want to answer it, it's okay. You said from 1 to 19, and my observation is that we've been losing a lot of kids to drugs. Have you seen a prevalence of this, or is it just more natural causes? And you may not know.
More natural causes, fires, car accidents,
All right.
you know, and some lengthy illnesses, you know. It's not it's not prejudice. It doesn't, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, I hate to use this old statement, but, you know, no parent should have to bury their children. And you know, it just doesn't hold up. You know, it can happen to anybody anytime. And, you know, we've all know people that, you know, they've had children, and out of the clear blue something happens, and you get that phone call, and, you know, you're just not prepared for that. And especially, you know, you mentioned the 1 to 19 age group. Like I said, most of those parents are probably still in their 20s or 30s, right? I mean, they're still working their way up through their jobs or whatever. Most of the time they got second jobs, or both parents are working. I pretty much know the world here.
Yeah.
And so for something like this is a big setback emotionally and everything. I mean, this is just a tough time for them. It's tough for anybody, period, but for a young couple especially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough moment in their life and everybody around them, their lives. You know, I remember when Patrick passed away. Yeah, he's a wrestler. His dad was an official. You know, Willie and Roseanne Morales. Their son Danny became one of my assistant coaches. But when Patrick passed away, I mean, it was meningitis. You know?
I remember that one. I was just going to say, was that meningitis? Yeah. I distinctly remember that story.
Yeah, and you know that, and I still to this day don't know Willie and his faith. He was a pillar of strength. When they stood there and went through that line, it was just so. It's nice to be able to remember those children as well, and I try to make mention of them in those notes so people know that these donations came from people that have been in their spot.
Well, you and your group are just unsung heroes to our community, and we're down to about a minute left, Alex. So, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest today is Alex Conti, who's the president of the Sonshine Fund. And let's, Jeff, if you can pop up that information one more time. Let's go over the phone number and website and anything you want to say to close things out.
Well, you know, if you're willing to donate, we have sent a mailer out and giving levels of support and what that will do for us in our little area, and we'll advertise for you if you send us a logo along with it. With different levels come different sizes of signs. That would be a great help. And if you would like one of these mailers, and I did not send it to you, see, it didn't hit any of the Jamestown area, just call me, send me a text. I get those too on my flip phone.
Or free of charge. I'm assuming it's on your webpage?
It is definitely on my webpage.
So people can do that and save you the postage, right?
That'd be fantastic,
All right,
too.
how about the phone number one more time?
716-640-7896. And that's Alex Conti.
Okay. Alex, we're just about out of time. Thanks for all that you folks do. This is a tough thing you're doing. And, you know, from one dad to another, thank you. Thank you. And we wish you luck, and keep us apprised of other fundraisers. We'll talk all about it here for you.
You have no idea how much I appreciate you having me on.
All right, take care. Let's stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Folks, that's a wrap for this week, and we're going to do this all again next Saturday morning. So I'm Doc Hamels. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. And there's a group of guys up in Buffalo. They're going to be playing ball tomorrow. Go Bills!
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right. Take care. You be quiet back there. These guys are Miami fans. Not
Wow.
him.